started. Thanks for joining us today. Okay.
You guys have a big team. How many people work on this?
Yeah, it's like it's probably only like 12 or 13 people. Yeah, I feel like I should know this.
Can you get me tape?
I feel like we should all know this.
It's like it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been a bunch of fun.
Yeah. So you guys just friends, or are you a business, or what's the story?
You are ahead of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. That
Sorry,
sounds like a question for later.
We will. Excited.
I'll let you guys go. I'm excited.
Awesome. We bring the enthusiasm.
I'll give it just one more minute, and then we can jump in.
You know, Andrew, what you could also do is push an update to the actual game. Just have a modal that will not disappear
Unless they got in the
video
call.
chat ends, right?
So you can't play the game unless you join the live stream.
Yeah. It's like, put in this password to be able to get into the rest of the game. Yeah.
We only hold the password as usual, of course.
We get rid of it. We get rid of the web application and just do the mobile.
Andrew, I'm not sure what's going on, but there's like 4 of your voice.
There's a mad echo. All right, we can get started. Thanks so much
play
for
the waiting room.
Oh, what?
I said Object should be playing his waiting room music.
Oh, yeah, he should. Yeah, so thanks to everyone that came out. We're really excited to celebrate over 400,000 games of Covidopoly, and none of this would be possible without our players. We're going to get started by introducing ourselves. I'm Shreya. I work on UX and marketing, and I'm going to be one of the moderators for the call today. And I'm going to pass it off to Benji.
Hi there. My name is Benji, and I'm the original person who made this website.
I'm Andrew. I started helping Benji out soon after he started making it and helped him get all these lovely people on board.
I'm Ronnie, and I drew some of these guys.
I'm Avik. I'm the sound designer and composer for the game.
Next.
Joseph, you're next.
Yeah, Joseph, and yeah, I'm also on the UX team. Help design the mobile app that will be coming soon.
I can go. My name's Lewis, and I help out with social media and marketing.
Hi everyone, I'm Ethan. I am a software engineer working on the website and the mobile app.
I'm Andrew. I'm also one of the software engineers doing the website and mobile app as well.
I'm Jarrett, same as the guys before me, working on software engineering for the mobile and desktop applications.
Well, I'm Ankit, and I'm also a software engineering person like Jarrett and Andrew and Ethan.
I'm Aniket, and I'm the same as them. I'm also a software engineer working on the web app and mobile app.
Why am I just now realizing we need to hire a female software engineer ASAP?
I said that super early on, to be honest.
Thank you, big memes, big dreams. We appreciate it.
All right.
I think that's everyone.
Boys, you want to go for it? Okay, well, Benji, let's start with you and why you created the game, because everyone always loves hearing that story.
Yeah, so Andrew and I both work at Google, and part of what my team does is we have a Thursday game day tradition where everyone comes, and during lunch we play border card games for an hour. And for at least 6 months, we never missed a single game day Thursday. But once quarantine began, we missed 2 weeks in a row because there wasn't an easy way for us to play the games that we like to play, and Monopoly Deal was one of our favorites. I'd always wanted to make our own in-house version of Monopoly Deal. We had looked into actually printing out physical cards and customizing the game. So when quarantine began, I figured might as well make my own virtual version of the game, originally called Benjopoly, and but my mom recommended that I change it to Covidopoly during dinner, and here we are. But originally, it was just meant for me and my friends. Andrew helped me super early on, test it, and code and finish up the site. And then accidentally one night the site went from like a few hundred games, mostly of me testing it, to like 10,000 games, and from then on it kind of exploded. But yeah.
Yeah,
Here, you want to jump back in? I know you have questions.
Oh yeah, I was curious. Are you guys like a business, or do all of you volunteer on this project because you enjoy it? Like, what's the structure? I'm just curious. Also, I live in Mountain View, by the way, so I live pretty near Google. I'm like 5-minute walk from Google. So
very cool.
Yeah, software lifestyle, right? It's like,
yeah,
I love this area. It's awesome.
Very cool.
If the interns want to answer that.
Yeah.
I up into that. Not getting paid, totally okay. We're getting compensated with the incredible mentorship of Benji and Andrew, and we've got to work on this fantastic team for the past 3 months. I think the ability to learn so much from such fantastic software engineers, and from working with such like a collaborative and like brilliant UX and marketing team has been compensation enough. So in terms of a business, I don't know if we have like a business model, but we definitely have like meshed well as like an internship team cohort type vibe.
Just adding on top of what Jared said, it was really nice like getting to work with like such an amazing group of people to work on like a game that's like functioning and like played by a lot of people out there. So it's really nice that like even despite not getting paid, or like despite the opportunity being remote, it was nice to like kind of like work on a product that kind of like brings like somewhat of a social good, I guess, to like bring fun to people all around the world. And yeah, it was nice like coming together to use our creativity and work on this.
The internship also just gave us a lot of like opportunity in a time that a lot of us didn't with like COVID. So I mean, the way Benji and Andrew have structured our internships has been super professional, and we've like learned a lot, and it's been like very similar to what a real internship would have been like. So we've definitely like benefited in that way professionally.
That's awesome.
And while we've done our best to structure it professionally, I want to emphasize what everyone has said, that like, working with each other is the thing that they've learned from the most at this point. I think in the beginning, we started by teaching them a lot, but they took it somewhere that Benji and I never could have.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So our first week of the internship we called week 0, and it was kind of a getting ramped up with the code base and getting started. And the projects for that week 0 is we split everybody into 2 teams, and they had to design and implement a new action card into the game. And I think Andrew and I didn't expect them to actually finish implementing it. If they could just get a picture of the card on the homepage, that I would have thought would have been good enough.
Yeah.
But both teams killed it, and now we have the delayed shipments and share screens cards. And that was 100% because of these guys.
Ooh, who created the delayed shipments?
Yeah,
Oh,
the Dana.
Team 2, let's go.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty remarkable that within the first week, people who had never met each other, like none of us knew each other beforehand except for me and Andrew. they were able to hit the ground running.
That's awesome. It's amazing that you guys built this all during COVID. It's a pretty hard thing to structure. Like,
shout out to Andrew for hosting weekly game nights so that way we could all have fun also and get to know each other, because definitely for me I was like we're all like different from very different places like across the US, and I was just like, how are we gonna like be comfortable just like talking to each other and working with each other? But like, I don't know, I think they're my friends now. I hope so, guys.
We've been doing weekly game nights at my work, and we've actually been using Covidopoly every week for it. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's been pretty great.
We actually try not to use it during our game nights.
Well, yeah, it's different because you work on it. So it's like,
yeah, we did it once. I think it was our second night of
the first game night was Covidopoly.
First game night, yeah. Apparently, though, Jarrett did not know how to play Covidopoly during our first game of Covidopoly, so that was fun. If you want to tell that story.
Not a great story. Not a great story. Thanks, though.
Okay. We have a question in the chat we want to address. It says, first, I wish FaZe Banana was here, but FaZe Banana is here. If you don't know who FaZe Banana is, he's the winner of the Covidopoly tournament that was held.
Hi, guys.
I think
there you go.
Oh.
And the question is, what type of skills do you guys think makes one a Covidopoly champion?
I feel like he should answer this question, right?
People
He's
want
the
to share
one
like
that
personal
won.
strategies.
You want me to answer this?
Or if FaZe Banana wants to answer it, he can answer it.
Yeah.
I don't have a real answer for this. You know, a lot of hard work, dedication to the game, play hard, work hard, stuff like that. You know.
All right, thank you, FaZe Bananas.
FaZe, are you familiar with what Redux dev tools are?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
Should I?
Let's just say it's a hack.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. At least for I think Andrew's better answering this question than I am since he beats me most of the time. But what I almost always do is skip my first turn, because especially in a big game, because you're probably going to lose whatever you play in the first round. But yeah, that's just my tip.
I also do that from time to time. Okay, and now we have a question. Go on.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. Never mind.
Okay. We have a question from Carolyn Hamaker asks, are you worried about getting sued by Monopoly?
So if you ask me this, so initially I did not plan on the site being anything more than just a game for my coworkers. But so I think I was more worried when it first got popular and it was a direct clone of Monopoly, a deal. But since then we have changed like almost everything, right? The way that the cards are designed are completely different. Our logo and story is way different than Monopoly Deal. Even the rules have been modified. But that being said, you can't copyright the rules for a game. So like we could have completely just cloned the rule set and be fine, but even then we've created our own artistic liberty with that. So I think from a legal standpoint, we are in a safe spot. At least that's what my lawyers tell me.
All right. Now,
So someone asked the number of daily active users and different statistics from Covidopoly. I think Benji can answer this.
Yeah, I also can answer this. We fluctuate between 4,000 and 6,000 different unique users each day. We don't really keep track of how many games, but it's roughly around 2,000 to 4,000 games a day as well. Most of our users come from the US, but we have a very strong presence in Southeast Asia. So I think right now our second most popular country is the Philippines, followed by Singapore. And recently, India has become number 4. I actually just found out about the TikTok ban in India when I was wondering, like, why the hell has India jumped up so high on our daily users? And it's because TikTok got banned, and I think it really pushed people over to Covidopoly. we also have a strong presence in Canada, Australia, the UK, and such. But Southeast Asia is definitely a big presence for us.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, Andrew Savage actually is working on a future tournament mode. So for any of you looking to win the Covidopoly crown.
Yep, it seemed like there was a lot of good response from that first tournament that got organized by the community. But when talking to the organizer, he talked about how much work it was for him, even though he had fun doing it. I think it'd be good to have something that was a little less stressful and people could just casually play in one instead of someone having to do all the work for it. So hopefully that'll be out in a few weeks.
I'm loving this chat, guys.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so another question was, are there going to be ads on Monopoly? But I'm pretty sure they meant Covidopoly. So are there any plans to like put ads on Covidopoly or anything like that?
Yes. I also can answer this question. So in my mind, I think ideally I don't want Covidopoly to be an ad machine like website. I would like to have a business model that is supported, through like extra features, whether that's customizations or expansion packs or whatever else it is. That being said, there eventually there may be ads, minorly, but right now we are running off of donations, which does help cover some of the server costs, but I'm not sure if those are going to cover all the server costs for a long time. So eventually we may have to, but
also Benji takes the hit for everything. So,
but yeah, so we are going to be in addition to tournament mode. We're going to be launching a bunch of extra features that may add, more value, and some of that might be behind a paywall. That's still all kind of in the works, and ads might be part of that. But for the short term, there are no ads right now.
We've definitely talked about ads, but I think we've talked about other ways of monetizing a lot more, like freemium content, for example. So like Benji mentioned, tournament mode might be behind a paywall. So I think we want to do our best to keep it from getting cluttered with ads and keep it a pretty nice experience for the user.
I see you guys have a lot of product design ideas in the chat. Joseph and I can both talk on this, but a lot of what you guys are thinking are on the way. They are on the way.
So I guess like I can talk about like one of the features that's kind of like mentioned. That is something that we have been like brainstorming and kind of like prototyping for us, like an account system, so that users can kind of like keep track of like their record, as well as just like any information like in regards to you versus another opponent. Yeah, we thought that would be a really fun way for users to keep track of their achievements and such. So that is in the works, I would say. I guess it's a matter of time when it will be finished, but yeah, I think it's a feature that you guys should look forward to, because I think it will really improve the gaming experience and yeah, stay updated so that you can like reserve your own like usernames and no one else takes it.
And real quickly, Taj Harvey sent a question, but privately, so I'm not sure if it showed up for everyone else, but he asks, will there eventually be a Covidopoly board game, or will it stay entirely digital in the foreseeable future? Thank you for your service.
Does someone want to talk about this, or?
Oh wait, sorry, can you repeat the question?
He said, will there eventually be a Covidopoly board game, or will it stay entirely digital in the foreseeable future? So he's wondering if it will transfer into like a board or physical card game, or just stay entirely online.
Yeah. So yes, we have been looking into what a physical card game. You know, it does require a decent amount of work because you have to handle shipping, especially since we have such an international audience. That makes it even more complicated for, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, it may become a thing, but it's going to be probably at least a few months before that might actually be possible.
Avik, do you want to reveal any fun sounds for whoever's here?
No, I will not reveal any sounds. You'll have to find them. But I'm pretty excited to see that we're going to be starting something new. We're going to be doing Secret Sounds Saturday. So every weekend, we're going to be releasing maybe between 1 to 4 new sounds, and then have maybe some kind of game where you have to find the new sounds. That'd be pretty fun. And report back on the Facebook group. And I'm also working on adding more localized sounds. So we've added some Singapore-specific sounds as well. And I'm going to be adding some more sounds for Philippines and India shortly, and other countries as we go
on. So someone had a question if the site's hosted on Google Cloud Platform or AWS or something. So would someone like from the engineering team like to answer that?
Yeah, I'm curious how well you guys know our infrastructure.
Yeah, I would answer that if I was 100% confident that I would get it right. Cause I think it's AWS. I think we're hosting it.
Oh, Jared,
maybe I'll pass it off to Andrew Nguyen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it off to Andrew. I think Andrew's probably the most knowledgeable in this round.
I don't know.
So I think it's hosted by AWS, but our database is actually managed by MongoDB.
Is that right?
That is right. So there's a few things going on. We're gonna go in super raw detail. We use Amazon for almost everything except for our database. If people are coders in the chat, we use an EC2, we use S3, we use CloudFront, we have a CI/CD pipeline. You know, we have a whole process, and it's using pretty much all the AWS tools. But yes.
And feel free to ask more engineering questions to quiz our team more.
Yeah, the engineering team's getting bored.
Let's see. I see in chat asked earlier from Big Memes, Big Dreams, great username, says, will you be making a tier system similar to League of Legends? So whoever feels like answering that, go right ahead.
Yeah, I guess I can touch upon that. Yeah, that's gonna be something that's gonna be kind of implemented with the account system, just for keeping track of your achievements as well as status that you're in, and that's gonna be measured by how many games you've played or won. I'm not sure if it's played or won, but yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be a feature built in with the account system, and we'll have special badges in terms of any special special unlocks for achievements, as well as a tier system.
Okay. Another question from Michael Wong. He's wondering if there's any plan to raise VC money for Covidopoly.
So right now there is not plans for VC funding.
Well, that's not entirely true. We do have a pretty strong American Express investor on the team who's expressed interest in supplying some initial capital. So if you want to talk about that, Aniket, hear the insight.
Wait, can you repeat that?
No, just go for it. Just talk about how you're going to invest in Covidopoly and what you're going to do with your VC money.
Oh yeah. So I knew Benji was working on Covidopoly long before he started it, and I've been saving money since I was 5 years old. So I'm gonna help invest in Covidopoly that way.
Wow. Anik has been doing 2 internships. He's been working for us, but also for American Express, and Jared here has given him a hard time. What was the original question? VC funding? Yeah. Right now we've we have not talked or thought about VC funding.
I think we've talked a little bit about different streams of funding, but not specifically VC funding.
Yeah.
All right. Here's like a marketing question, I believe. It says, have you guys ever thought about reaching out to the streaming community? I feel like they would be great for hyping the game up. My favorite streamer is Dice4X, by the way. Never heard of Dice4X, but I am interested. Me personally, I'm looking into reaching out to some streamers on Twitch. I think that'll be good for the game, because with the like new option to like watch matches, I think like watching Covidopoly on Twitch would be something to look into. So
you guys should also comment about Covidopoly so that way they draw more attention to us and don't ignore us.
Yeah. One of my goals is to get ProsED to do a review of Covidopoly. I have commented on a bazillion tweets and videos of his and emailed him. I've not gotten a response back, but I feel it'd be right up ProsED's alley. Like, he even had a tweet being like, "Hey, does anyone know any good online like card games that yada yada yada?" I'm like, and a bunch of people actually commented Covidopoly, and I'm like, but still no. So any help here would be appreciated. Yes, definitely need to have
the right track.
Yeah. We should make a ProsED card or a ProsED secret sound, and maybe that'll get his attention.
Secret sound for sure. He does like voice acting and all that stuff. Be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched literally the entire Dragon saga like 4 times on his YouTube channel. But
so we have a question for our like branding illustrations team. They just kind of do everything front end related. So Ronnie is here with us. Maggie is also one of our designers, and she's not here today. But Ronnie, what was your inspiration for the characters, and how did you kind of navigate that?
Sure. So I think week 0, Maggie and Benji kind of made a style board. I don't remember what they called it. Like 3 different styles the game could have gone. In the end, the team voted for a very, I guess, simple style, kind of like what we have now. And Maggie had a ton of pictures of other games and characters that were like this. So I like mashed kind of all of them together. And I don't know, somehow, I don't really know how this process works, but this just popped out of my head. And this is what we got now, these little guys. Yeah,
What's
I don't know.
your favorite?
My favorite is the red one. He's so grumpy, I love it.
Yeah, Ronnie's been a total rock star on this front. When I first put out, so Ronnie's not technically an intern, but he's been like our illustrator in chief, awesome dude that helps. And he first reached out and he was like, "Hey, if you want someone to make illustrations, like I can help out. I also have a sticker pack on the iMessage app store." He was very casual about it, and then it turns out it's like the number 3 or 4 most popular sticker pack on iMessage. It is amazing. If you guys have not checked it out, you should definitely check it out. It's called Aminals. Big fan.
Yeah. Feel free to promote yourself, Ronnie. Yeah.
just sent it in the chat. Feel free to download.
Something that's popping up in the chat a lot is mobile app. Would anyone like talk about that?
Everyone can talk about it. Somebody go. Come on.
Ethan would probably be good to start us off on this.
Yeah, Ethan's a passionate mobile person, so.
I can talk to the mobile app. So, like on the engineering side, the mobile app has been the primary focus of, like, at least my primary focus and our major goal that we're working toward for this internship. So we are very close to beginning the external testing stage. We have mostly, we've been working it out. We've been ironing out the bugs. And I'm not sure how exactly external testing it is going to work out, but we're definitely wanting to involve the community and get a lot of people playing before we release on the App Store. So it's going to be exciting.
We have like a nice fun question from FaZe Banana. He asks, who's the best and worst player on the dev team? So if any dev people want to rank themselves real quick and let FaZe Banana know, maybe you two can play sometime.
I'm better than Benji, but that's all I know.
I think Liz beat Benji one time, so
He charged a whole bunch of rent.
I mean, we know who the worst is, so like we don't even.
Yeah. So
I feel like we don't really play that many games like with each other to see like who like is the best.
I think what this calls for is that once tournament mode is finished, we're gonna have an internal tournament, and probably could have a secondary stream for that if people want to stay for the whole shebang. But
yeah, we're gonna have to try and get ProZD to join that one.
I like the idea from Big Memes, Big Dreams to do a sudden death match for all of the team members. So if you get out, you're off the team.
Yeah.
And they get 100% equity.
Yep. Which is lost.
Yeah. Inherit the negative.
Michael Wong asked through Facebook, who did you learn the original card game from? So, Jarrett, would you like to answer that?
I learned the original card game from literally reading through the code because I did not understand the game one bit. And frankly, my biggest hesitation to joining the team was that I thought the game was too complicated and I didn't get it. And I tried to play with my mom and she didn't get it. And we both said, you know, we like this guy Benji, but he made a bad game, so we're not going to pursue it. I then pursued it, and then I learned it by literally just like reading through the code base and trying to figure it out that way. It's only been probably 2 weeks since I fully understood the game and played a full game.
Also, Shreya and Avik have been working on a new tutorial video, so hopefully Jarrett's case won't happen again.
This is like
more people coming on our team.
Oh yeah. Hopefully. More open-ended question for anyone on the team. What do you think has been like your biggest takeaway from working on the project and like maybe the most important thing?
I think Ankit can answer that one.
Ankit, you're muted, I think.
Oh, can you repeat that?
Like biggest takeaways from your time with Covidopoly, like what has been the best parts of it?
It's just like having a great time with others and like actually working on a game that's been popular, because I've made some of my own apps, but they just haven't had the Benji touch where they become like really popular. So hopefully I learned something.
Come on, guys.
Also, I want to hear from Avik. I feel like I haven't heard from him, and I feel like he has a pretty unique position on the team.
Yeah, sure. I can. I think for me, the biggest takeaway is probably just like having a lot of attention to detail. I think working with Benji and Andrew, they really like go into like detail about like, does this sound really work in this particular place? And I've worked on a few games before where I just send the sounds to developers and they'll be like, okay, cool, thanks, bye. So this is really cool, like really working, like trying to really think about, okay, why is the sound here? What does it do? Is it getting the reaction that we want? So that's a lot of fun and improvement for me.
Yeah.
To add on to Avik's self-development talk, every time he gives us sounds to evaluate, he's like, absolutely shit on this sound. Like, tell me how terrible it is. Rip it apart.
Something like, please, guys, shit on me. But one thing I thought was really cool about Avik in our first week, once again, we had in week 0 of the internship, 2 teams made 2 different cards. And Avik did the sound design for both of them. And he was like, one team like said I was great, but didn't really give me that much feedback. But the other team gave me a ton of feedback, and he had said that he appreciated the team that had the guts to give him feedback when they thought things could be improved. So that kind of set the stage where I'm like, okay, which
team was that?
Who can take some feedback. So I thought that was cool quality of them.
Question: which team was it, Avik?
I'm not saying anything.
Just curious which team it was.
Good move.
Yeah. Avik, you're a smart man.
This question was directed for Avik. Have you thought about sampling WAP, WAP? I don't know, for songs in the future?
Yeah, I saw that. That would be pretty cool. Legally, that's we can't exactly do that, but we've kind of been adding sounds here and there. Possibly, yeah. I'm down to sample anything and put it in the game if it works. So that'd be like, send your ideas for secret sounds and other things, and I'd be happy to look into them.
Follow-up question, Avik. What is WAP?
I think he froze. Oh, it's a mystery.
I'll never know.
I'm so content now in his picture. Yeah, I think to go on the original question on takeaways, I think I really enjoyed working with this, a team that has such good chemistry, and I think there's a lot of risks going on with creating a team remotely where none of us besides me and Andrew have ever met each other in person, and such. Managing a team, at school is hard. Doing it remotely with strangers is, could be even more tough. But I think I've learned a lot by seeing how fast these guys learn. Like, I was talking to my own manager at work, and I'm like, man, these engineers learn so fast. I feel like I need to be picking things up faster at this job. I feel like this experience with such a smooth running team has, changed the way that I see being on a team and managing teams in the future.
I think it was like super unique how I hadn't had to work with engineers before as UX designer, and just I think it was super important in the beginning, just developing that relationship with engineers. I never thought I would have that relationship with you guys, so I think that's definitely something super unique that I felt like I gained.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. And from the engineering perspective, I think it's really cool to work with a really artistic and holistically minded UX team. I'd never done that before, and I think being given these really specific wireframes or just images of what they want, and having a really structured way to go about the components you want to create and the code you want to write. Was a really interesting collaboration that I hadn't anticipated was even part of the engineering experience. And just being in constant contact and getting feedback bidirectionally was really, really a really fun experience, bonding, but also really professionally interesting. You got to see how it actually works on a real app. Is you submit your you work for 15 hours on some code, and then you give it to UX, and they're this looks really bad, your padding's off, and then you redo it, and that's just a fun thing that I didn't know was going to be the case, but I really did enjoy over time.
Yeah, I agree with Jerry. It's really different experience when you have UX designers, because you don't really know what people like and don't like. You just know what you like.
Yeah, and like also like as like on the engineering side, you can be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it this way because like this is the really easy way to do it. And they're like, wouldn't it be nice if the chat came in from the left instead of the right, or instead of the bottom? So you have to redo the whole thing, and it really like makes you appreciate like being held accountable to that level and making sure that we're coming up with like a product that we're all happy with and is super easy to use, and like it's just for the like it's what's best for the product is like this constant review and collaboration. And even though we're all virtual, like keeping that up has been really great.
With so many people talking about UX, I'm curious if anyone in the call was actually part of the interviews that the UX team did it like 2 months ago or something like that at the beginning of us working on the app.
I was going to interview Michael, but I ended up interviewing someone before him. So next time, he was like, I definitely want to test out the mobile app. So Michael, I still remember you.
Yeah, Michael's also been a trooper. Michael and I have talked a bunch on Facebook. One in planning and organizing the tournament. That was, Michael killed that. So thanks, Michael, for being an awesome Covidopoly.
And hopefully once I make tournaments in the future, your life will be easier.
Yeah. Andrew, I thought you were saying, speaking of the UX team, who was part of the interviews for the UX team and did not get on the UX team? I was like, oh man.
That would be super awkward.
That would be awkward.
I think someone asked about growth earlier, about like our users. Benji, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, we've been having pretty solid growth. I think right now our users, like the amount of activity we get per day has been relatively constant for the past month or so. We get big boosts by random things like a Zoom meme group or whatever else it is. We also have a healthy increase in new users. I think it's like 60% of our users are new users according to Google Analytics, or it's 40%. It's one of those two on that side. So we have a good balance of people who are coming to the site for the first time as well as returning visitors. Although we are trying to get, it'd be really awesome if like BuzzFeed or some Business Insider or like some kind of news source were to be like, Covidopoly is really awesome, because that kind of stuff really does help, as well as those Facebook groups. Like the Zoom meme group, that Facebook group has really put Covidopoly on the map. So more things like that are what helps push us up. But right now we're in a pretty good spot.
How do you guys?
Good.
I was curious. How do you guys structure your teams? Like, how do you work together? Is it all on Zoom, or what do you guys do? Are you talking to each other for like one day and then 5 days of work, or what does it look like?
So we meet nearly every day. We have something called a stand-up every day to discuss what we did the previous day and keep everyone updated, so that we make sure we're not doing overlapping work or anything like that, and keeping coordinated between mostly the engineering and the UX team, but as well as other teams. And then we'll have quite a few smaller meetings throughout the week, as well as longer update meetings, like weekly, or actually twice a week progress meetings, where each team will fully update everyone. And also we use Google Meet for everything, but people preferred Zoom for this.
Yeah, Slack is also just like beautiful for collaboration purposes between like when we're doing more like low level stuff that isn't as much like the entire team needs to be there, but like engineering and designers just like talking to each other and being like, is this okay or is that okay? Is this doable? Is that doable? So more of that communication is done that way.
Yeah. And I think from Andrew's and my perspective, we, at the beginning of the week, we have we have the stand-ups every morning. But then at the beginning of the weekend in the evening, we have a deliverables meeting where people, we have like a document at the beginning of each week that details everything that should be, achieved by the end of, the week. And at our deliverables meeting, that's when people present those achievements, and the following day we start the cycle over and over again. At the halfway mark, for us is Thursday, we have a midweek update to make sure that things are on track, and that's a fairly optional meeting, but people can choose to show what they've been working on if they want feedback. And aside from that, the teams have, all the interns have a lot of freedom and liberty in how they achieve those things. All that's really required is that they get things done by the deliverables meeting. So there's a lot of conversations between the interns, after the meetings that Andrew and I are at, and a lot of on teamwork that happens there. Seems to be a pretty aggressive debate on who has the best fast food fries, but Five Guys definitely has the best fries. There's no debate on this.
Thank you, Benji.
Just the
That's
value.
all I needed.
They give you so much. They give you so much.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have much memories of those other guys' fries, but the Five Guys fries, you be a member.
Do you guys use Scrum or Kanban?
Well, we kind of use Kanban-ish. We have, not in the traditional sense, but we use the GitHub projects board, and that is kind of Kanban-y, where things are in progress. But if there's bugs or feature requests that we have internally, and we put it onto that board, and we have like a in progress, completed, reviewed, yada yada columns. Looks like another question is whether we're worried about the player base if COVID dies down. In my mind, I think the online game landscape is pretty sparse. And I think Covidopoly has a pretty interesting niche in that market. Like there's Scribble.io and code names and those kinds of sites. And I think Covidopoly is a way different experience than those guys. So I think there is staying power, one in the game mechanics, but also with I think after quarantine ends, there's going to be I'm blanking on the word, but people will look back on this era of time that will certainly get put into the history books. And I think Covidopoly will have that kind of, remembrance factor. But what I do think is cool about Covidopoly is that, it is culturally relevant when you're playing the game. So I think when it comes to future expansion packs, whether the new mechanics in the game or if it's just purely a reskinning, it'd be cool to have it be themed after whatever the big current event is. So you can imagine a 2020 election expansion pack type of thing, or re-skinning, which I think could be fun. And we would still have the Ronas. The Ronas will stay, but they'll be dressed up as other people. If you've said China more than 3 times and seen in the highlight reel at the end of the game, there's a Trump red Rona. So things like that I think could be fun to kind of keep it culturally relevant even after quarantine ends eventually.
Yeah, and I think there was a question earlier about what our plans are for adding more cards. And we want to make sure that the kind of core game doesn't become too saturated with cards. But as Benji mentioned, we've definitely talked a lot about expansion packs, and we want to make sure we get it right when we add those, but it's definitely something we want to add. And yeah, Michael asked if there'd be a way to share the fact that you won on the game over screen. And we're definitely gonna have that, especially with tournament mode being implemented. We want people to be able to brag about winning.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys have used a highlight reel or not at the end of the game stream. I think it'd be cool to have some way to share that too, or save it or whatnot. So if you charge someone like 60 rent, which I've seen happen, it is scary that that's even possible. Also, shout out to Annika and Jarrett for killing the highlight reel stuff. Yeah, I think stuff like that, it'd be really cool to brag about things too, online.
This is a question for the whole team. So they're asking, what's your favorite card?
I can tell a funny story really quickly. So I was playing like pretty recently, testing a bug that was happening on the desktop. It was like the work from home bug that we recently fixed. And so on the first week, Andrew Nguyen and I, or most honestly, like Andrew Nguyen created the share screen card. And I remember like I was playing with this guy and he used the share screen as money. And I was like so offended, like it really hurt my feelings. And I left the game and I like started to cry. So for me, I'd probably say share screen like my favorite card just because I have that like affinity to it.
So I think my favorite card is purely because of Ronnie's. I guess I can have two answers. My favorite card purely because of Ronnie's illustration is Work from Home. I love that illustration and I want it on a mug. So that's a hashtag merch store. I think from the illustration, that's my favorite illustration for a card. I like the false positive card because that was an addition that we had added in. And I think we were worried if it was going to be too OP or not. And I think a hallmark of a good card, being added to the core gameplay is that when it works well, it's really, really fun. But it's not like you always need to use it. So I think like Work from Home can be really savage if you use it near the end of a game, and false positive can be really, really make some really interesting plays that in a bunch of unique ways that I think was a good addition to the game. Oh, thanks, Dana. Thanks for coming.
My least favorite and favorite card is delayed shipment, depending on if it's in my hand or if someone else is playing it against me.
I agree with Andrew and also Carolyn in the chat. Delayed shipment is my favorite card. I love when someone has 0 cards in hand and I hit them with that delayed shipment, get that extra turn. Pro tip, if you don't do that, you should highly do that. It's a solid strategy. And then also it's worth 2 million. So if you're running low on money, you just need money, you put it down as money, you could like ruin someone's life, make them waste a turn. It's pretty solid card.
Yeah, you can ruin someone's life or put it down as money. It's really up to you.
I'm gonna jump in and say that I hate delayed shipment because when we had our internal tournament, I lost because Benji played Tulip on me when I couldn't do anything.
Delayed shipment is my favorite illustration. I'm obsessed with the baby Rona in the Amazon box. So I think for that reason, not like totally impartial that like I helped create delayed shipment, like throwing all like just on card design alone, I think delayed shipment is my favorite.
Yeah, I do. I'm looking at it right now. It's super cute. It's a super cute design.
Thanks everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like that card too, especially if you're playing online on a web call. You just watch their face once they realize they were delayed. It's like the best. It's the best watching that reaction.
So we're getting close to 9 o'clock. So just wanted to just go over like wrapping up the meeting and stuff. Thank you to everyone that came out. We really appreciate you guys being here, and we want you guys to sign up to be external testers for our mobile app when we're ready to send it out. So I'm going to include the link in the chat. Don't send it to other people. It's only for you guys because you showed up for us today. So please, we will also try to send this link to the other 2 people that were here. Michael, yeah, Benji and him are tight. I'm sure Benji can send him the link. But yes, please fill that out. We would love to stay in touch with you guys. But yeah, I'm assuming people have to start leaving at 9, but if you still have more questions, please feel free to shoot them our way. We can also answer them after the meeting. But yeah, overall, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you guys being a part of our community.
Yeah, second that. Thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, I at least Brian, I think one of the things that really surprised me, because the internet can be crazy sometimes, is that we've had such an awesome supportive community, especially in our Facebook group. It's a dedicated group of people. They give us feedback. They let us know when bugs happen very, very fast, which is very useful. I get a lot of pride saying that people on a team be proud of the stuff that they've been able to push out and get that positive feedback through the Facebook group and such. So I know it's definitely made a big impact for me and for people on this team.
I think like when I joined the team from like a marketing standpoint, just the way that Benji built his relationship with the players was just like really awesome and just like so unique about Covidopoly that I wanted to like continue that through marketing also. So just really glad that like people are willing to be engaged with us, and that like makes Covidopoly better than it is right now for that reason.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I think that we're going to start to hop off, but like Shreya said, feel free to reach out to us on any social media. We've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we're always happy to answer questions.
Thanks everybody for coming out. Yeah, we're excited for you guys to see the that app soon. All right, cool.
You can't see it.
Can't see it, Garrett. He tried. He really tried.
Your wallpaper blocked out the phone screen.
So sad.
It's a bummer. I'm sorry about it. You'll have to wait to see it yourself.
Oh man.
Okay.
I can.
Bye,
You want me to show it? I think that's fine. I think it's fine.
Jared just really wants to show it.
I don't know. I kind of want to.
Just remove your background and then
just flash it.
I'll show it really quick. Okay. It looks like this right now. It's a little app. It's a little app you guys are gonna be playing. Cool. All right.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
All right, time to end the meeting. Goodbye, guys.
Bye everyone. Sign up to test.
Bye.